A lot of people have been asking to do a 1 versus 1 against me because reasons. I suppose they want to see if they can beat me or how they fare against me at the very least. But the reality is that I don't really answer to those requests anymore because 1 versus 1 on Splatoon is kind of boring. The reality is that the game was not made with 1 versus 1 in mind. Even though it's possible through private matches or horrible disconnects to actually have one. Right here, I'm actually trying to play Squid Beacon. I didn't realize you couldn't place it on the conveyor belt. Also, some people have been asking me to 1 versus 1 SR, well, dude, SR2B dude, I think is his name. They've been asking me to 1 versus 1 him, but besides the fact that he probably plays more than me and therefore is better than me, it doesn't. It's like Splatoon is not made for it, so how would it be fair? Even if I could beat him or he beat me, it wouldn't really prove anything because the game is not made with 1 versus 1 in mind. The closest or fairest 1 versus 1 type of match you can do is tower control because Splat Zones and Turf War they favor weapons that are good at turfing too much, and Rainmaker is way too short. It's like way too easy to end a match. I don't know why you kept Squid jumping away, KengPencky. That's the opponent right here. He really felt like afraid of hanging around me when he kept screwing up his sort of kind of ambushes. It cost him quite a few matches. And by quite a few matches, I mean it cost him all of his matches, but still, he eventually started to play more aggressively and more strategically later on. But in this match, I pretty much carried the tower all the way to the end. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really listening to any requests for 1 versus 1s because the game is just not made for it. The only reason I'm playing with KengPencky right now in a 1 versus 1 is because he requested a 1 versus 1 from me since last year, and I do believe I actually said I would actually take it, like, I would do it with him. But as some of you may have noticed, he's B ranked and I'm S ranked, so this is not fair at all because of the discrepancy of skill, or talent I should say. The fact of the matter is, there's also those KengPencky who tends to fool around way too much. It does not understand how to prioritize the objective. Like right here, I took the tower for a second because I wanted to add some pressure, and while KengPencky was focusing on the tower or just doing something, I sneaked behind him and easily splat him. That's the stuff you will see S rankers do over B players that just don't prioritize this stuff, that are too focused on splatting me. Although I suppose initially, KengPencky, you might have thought that it was just all about splatting each other, but if that was the case, then the matches would never have ended. At some point, one of us would eventually have to go on the tower and do whatever objective we had to do, so that's why I didn't really focus on splatting you. I was just focused on getting the objective down. This last kill right here was really cheap of me. Sorry. Just splatting you at the very last second, even though it was completely unnecessary. Oh, also, some of you may have noticed that I'm not wearing the bubble hats, because quick super jump is not all that great in 1 versus 1, and tenacity is downright useless, literally. But then again, so was last ditch effort, the ability. That was also completely useless before version 2.6. However, since it got buffed in that version, it is actually kind of useful in ranked mode, I would say. Because as soon as either it goes into overtime or the enemy team manages to get our objective down to 30 points or less, last ditch effort activates, and that gives you better ink recovery, better ink consumption, and quick respawn effect, which all seems fairly great. I'm not sure if it actually does add something else like swim speed up or run speed up or something. I don't think it does, but if it does, then it's even better than I think. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the quick respawn that helps the most, but the better ink consumption also helps a lot, particularly for weapons like the custom jet sculpture and the E-leaders in general. KengPencky didn't have a bad idea, but you really should have activated your Kraken 1 second or 2 seconds later. That way you would have forced me off. Because you did not, I should have gotten splatted, but I got lucky. And because of this, I managed to splat you right here, with the tower just standing right in front of your base. That's quite unfortunate, to be honest, because This felt like a win that I didn't quite deserve. Missed my shot right at the last second here. And you had a chance to splat me at the very last second too, but you missed it. In case some of you what, I'm actually uploading all the short matches that I did with KengPencky right now. There's 2 more left. After that, I'm gonna upload the matches that actually went into overtime. Well, almost into overtime because they did end at when the timer ran out. But right now, it's all the matches where I just completely destroyed you, KengPencky, because I wanted to show you that you didn't focus on the objective enough. That's why you kept losing so much. Maybe it simply wasn't a priority for you, but I felt it should have been for you. Right here, that was risky of me. You could have splatted me, but you missed your shot, so because of that, I splatted you. But if it was like someone who was extremely good with the charger, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten caught. Oh, also I'm using the kelp splat charger here. The sprinkler can be used as a distraction and as a defensive device, quote unquote. And if the opponent gets on the tower, they might get splatted accidentally. Actually, I saw a match of people who only used the sprinkler for the entirety of the match. That was the rule of that match. You can only use the sprinkler. That'd be kind of interesting, to be honest. There's quite a few custom setups for different matches that people have made for themselves. Like, there's hide and seek as some kind of like match setup. I don't know how it works, but I imagine it involves not shooting with your weapon at all and just hiding from the enemy or seeking the enemy. I'm not sure how it works. Never really tried it, but it is something that I've seen people try. Yeah, so this is the final match, the longest one out of this batch. Using the scoped E-leader, I really don't like them, to be honest, even though I will admit that they are in fact better, technically. But the problem is that I like using my E-leader in all ranges, and the scope version really messes up with your aiming when you're trying to aim at close range. It really bothers me. Of course, you shouldn't be using it at close range. That's why you have bombs in this particular case, but I'm just too used to it. I didn't get quite all that great with my shots here, and I did a fatal mistake right here. Forgot that you had the custom version and that your Kraken was ready. So with the big disadvantage I have right now, I have to be careful in my approach of the tower, but I wasn't being careful at all right here. Instead, I was just being pompous because I knew you couldn't make that shot, or I was at least hoping you wouldn't make it. And here you got way too scared. I don't know why you squid jumped, but it was kind of unnecessary. And right here, this was the weakness of the scoped E-leader I was talking about. I was trying to aim at where he was about to land, but when it when it zoomed in, I just like lost my concentration. Here I'm trying an ambush. It's not gonna work out. But it does scare KengPencky once again, and I thought he squid jumped to that squid beacon right there, but he actually didn't. But then he squid jumped back to it anyways, so I don't know. That was a pretty terrible mistake on your part, KengPencky. When you squid jumped all the way to the inside your base, you should have stuck there, because I was expecting you to squid jump that beacon. And by taking so much time to get to it, you gave me plenty of time to have my weapon ready. Right here, I'm using a trick where it involves stalling with the tower, because technically you can use it as a defensive doodad or prop or whatever you want to call it, because it is solid matter. If I really wanted to, I could have lamed it out this entire time just right here, because there's almost no way that KengPencky would have caught me. Because the only way he could catch me is either by passing me through the tower or going to like right next to that part above me. But that's where I was expecting to go the entire time, and I could have easily reached him with my bombs. Sort of, kind of, maybe. Almost messed up right there. The tower kind of blocked my movement. That's something that I don't believe I'm actually an expert at just yet. How the Inklings move. Speaking of which, I actually was expecting the Kraken this time, which is why I was able to easily deal with it. And right here, you got scared again. It's not a bad idea to squid jump in this case, because you were obviously vulnerable, but I still feel you should have watched out how many times you squid jumped for safety. You definitely use them way too often, that's for sure. This is the moment of truth. If you splat me, you're gonna get back control. If I splat you, GG. And, well, that's what happened. I like the animations for Booyah come on when you're, like, winning. It's really cute. Should get some pictures of it. Anyway, yeah, that's for this batch of 1 versus 1s against KengPencky. The matches where I basically completely dominated. There's going to be 2 more matches where, well, I already spoiled that I win all of them. But those other matches will be much closer. And hopefully much more interesting. And that'll be it for the 1 versus 1s against KengPencky. We only played for like 40 minutes. Anyway, hope you've all enjoyed this video and hope you have a nice day. Bye-bye.